And if there is
contradictions.
Okay, but that's not what makes something impossible, because you don't have universal access
you have to be kidding
knowledge.
me.
So you're just presupposing this is a universal.
And you're just presupposing that you have access.
But I know I have access. That's the difference. In
No,
our
you
worldview,
don't know you have access.
The reason I know I can know things is because God told us in Scripture that we can come to know things.
You don't
How
know
do
that
you
those
know
words
you
are
can know
true.
things is the question.
This is just so... why? God... How do you know that that's true?
Because God revealed it in His Scripture. And
How do you know that it is revealed in His Scripture?
Yeah, so I came to the knowledge that God gave us the preconditions to know things through His Scripture. Yeah, so
how do you know that?
Justification. That's the justification, unifying, ultimate, grounder of our worldview is God.
Yeah, well, guess what? I have a book, and this book is true. There, that proves it.
Well, that can be your unifying, grounding principle in your worldview, and you can hold that to be true. But you will no longer be atheist.
Yes, I will, because it's the book, not God. The book reveals the truth.
Okay, but then the book isn't divine or ultimate.
Yeah, the book revealed to me that there's no such thing as that, and you are just believing in something that's not true.
Okay, so in all possible worlds, that book is a necessary, and it's not contingent?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. If that book is not necessary and not contingent and is the creator of all and all-powerful and a perfect being, you could call that book God and not say God. That's fine.
I don't call the book God.
Okay, but if you're saying that this book is a contingent book written by Planet Peterson...
It's not contingent.
Obviously, it's not the ultimate grounding of your worldview. That would be a ridiculous statement. Now, if you say this book is actually revelatory from my, deity, that's a perfect being, right? That has a triune relationship that can be all loving, then you'll have a winning worldview. Until you get that, until you get a triune God that's a perfect being that is capable of love. Right, you're just going to have a incomplete.
The way you guys unironically do this, you say what your presuppositions are what you know, rather than what you believe or what your worldview is. It's so funny. But your God doesn't exist. I hate to tell it to you, Kai, but it doesn't exist.
I have no problem you and your empirical worldview saying that. I would say in your empirical worldview, God does not exist. God transcends existence.
No, according to your revealed Scripture, your God doesn't exist. That's the problem.
Your definition of existence is ridiculous. So when you say exist, you're not using it in the same way I use exist. You're using it as exists in matter, space, and time, objective reality. Right? And
in any conceivable way, it doesn't exist because it is a contradiction.
What's the contradiction?
Is your God all-knowing?
Yes, my God's all-knowing.
You ever read Genesis chapter 18?
Yes, I don't.
Does God know what's happening in Sodom and Gomorrah?
God knows everything, yes.
Does God know what's happening in Sodom and Gomorrah in Genesis 18?
We're using anthropomorphic language to express God.
No, it doesn't. God says... I will go there to see for myself if the outcry is as bad as has been told to me. If not, then I will know. So he doesn't know. Also, according to your perfect and revealed Scripture, there's a pantheon of gods.
Okay, so I don't have to grant your interpretation of your Scripture, right? Because
it's not my interpretation. It's what the Scripture says.
That's what the Scripture says. The way you interpret it is what you're arguing for.
No, that's what the Scripture says.
Saying because this is said, God is not all-knowing, and I'm saying that's a stupid conclusion, right? Because your interpretation of this Scripture is incorrect. So
and how do you know that your interpretation of it is correct?
Your conclusion is false.
How do you know that your interpretation is correct?
Because I follow the Church Fathers, right? And the Church Fathers have authority. Okay.
Wow, an argument from authority. Congratulations.
It's not an argument from authority.
Yes, it is. You literally used the word authority.
They hold authority over
See,
interpretation.
you just
on
used the word
scripture.
authority again. It's
Yeah,
true
divine
because these
authority is different.
authoritative figures say that it's true.
Divine authority is
So that's
much
the
different.
third time you've invoked authority, so you're doing an argument from authority here.
On the interpretation of scripture.
You're saying it's true
Yes, I'm
because
saying
of the...
I'm saying there's one true interpretation of scripture that's been revealed through us by the fathers. They've been granted authority by
That's the fourth
God.
time you've invoked authority?
Yes, God is the authority.
That's the fifth time you've
Planet.
invoked authority?
Look at this guy coping. Planet, this isn't me saying dark matter exists because authority. Okay, there's a complete difference here. I'm not saying dark matter exists because a scientist said so. I'm saying God said so. The divine
God?
authority.
No, you're saying the church
You're
fathers
arguing- you're
said
making-
that the
you're making-
interpretation is what it says.
You're trying to say I'm making a fallacious argument
Because
by
you are.
appealing to the church fathers. I'm not appealing to the church fathers. I'm appealing to the same revelation given to us by God in the
No,
scripture.
you're appealing to their
That happens
interpretation
to
of
appeal
it.
to the church
There have
fathers,
been
right? So-
interpretations by other people that were not the same. In fact, there were early church fathers that had different kinds of interpretations. Like Martian. You're not a Martianite, are you?
No, I'm also not a Coptic.
Okay, well then you
Okay,
don't
so
believe in the church fathers.
I'm not a Coptic either. So I'm
Okay, well then you
Eastern
don't
Orthodox.
believe in the authority of church fathers.
That's not.
Jeez, dude, how many meatballs did you eat before you came up here?
Oh yeah, I burped. I didn't mute. My bad. But regardless of the fact, sir, Planet Peterson, okay, if there's nothing grounding in your worldview of what can be possible and
There
what
is.
cannot,
It's called Clipclop.
what's that?
It's the necessary precondition for intelligibility.
Okay, is that being perfect?
It's not a being, and the necessary condition for understanding, which is called Clipclop, told me that all this God stuff is false. It revealed it to me.
Okay, and how does this thing ground intelligibility? Is it all knowing? Does it have knowledge?
I have no idea, but what I do know is that it revealed the truth to me.
How did it reveal the truth to you?
It just speaks it into my brain head.
Okay, so how do you know you're not being deceived?
Because I can't be deceived, because I know it, because I presuppose that it's true. And because I define the thing to be the thing which does the thing. How do you know that you're not being manipulated by Satan? Because Clipclop told me that these evil forces don't actually exist, but in your worldview, these evil forces do exist, and they have power over men, and in fact, Satan's the ruler of this earth. So
Yeah,
you have no idea if the church fathers were actually swayed by Satan to read the Bible incorrectly, and all those other church fathers that you don't agree with had the correct interpretation. You don't know it. You choose to believe that you're correct, and then for some reason you go around saying that you know these things, but you don't know these things. You believe them, and that's good for you. I'll give you a little pat on the head there, Kai, but you don't know it.